Welcome back to WSAV News 3 today at 11. He's an award-winning independent journalist who's captured exclusive images of some of the world's most powerful and recognizable people, from Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall to Reverend Jessie Jackson, President Barak Obama, Nelson Mandela, Princess Diana. The list goes on and on. He recently held a private reception called Introducing Jason Miccolo Johnson, a 50-year mini-retrospective exhibition highlighting his half-century career. He joins us now with more. I don't think we have enough time to talk about everything. Thank you for being here.
We need about a year.
We need about a year or two,
years.
Perhaps.
Yes.
First, I want to congratulate you on a number of awards that you received over the past year.
Thank you.
You are the 2025 recipient of the Gordon Parks Choice of Weapons Award winner, also the National Association of Black Journalists 2025 NABJ Drum Majors Award recipient. I can't, even think about all the other awards that you have, but these are the most recent. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
First of all, let's talk briefly about your career, because you were largely self-taught.
Yes.
But your mentor was the late, great Gordon Parks.
Absolutely. I knew Gordon for 26 years, actually longer than I knew my own father. Wow. And his advice to me was always right on target. We didn't talk so much about technical things, about photography, shutter speeds, and we talked more about life, and I just sit back and listen to the stories he shared. But the most important thing he told me was shoot by insight, not just by eyesight.
Yeah. So you picked up a camera when you were in middle school, was it?
Yeah, I was 11 years old, but it started with a toy, a Viewmaster, and I'd forgotten about that until I was talking to some school kids, and they said, "How did your career begin?" And I always said it started with the student newspaper and yearbook staff, but it goes back before then with a toy called a Viewmaster that had little slides you could put into it and push down the slides, and you could travel all over the world through the imagination of looking at those slides. And that gave me the impetus not only to want to do photography, but to travel as well. And
then you went into the Navy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because in the Navy, I knew I could travel for free. I could do photography. I became a Navy photographer. And my goal was to see as much of the world as possible. And so I did. Spent 6 months in the Mediterranean on a med cruise, Spain, France, Crete, and back to Norfolk base. And after that, I went into Memphis State University and then transferred to Howard University in D.C. And that changed my whole life, transferring to Howard University.
Yeah, and how so?
Well, there, now imagine, 1980, January 1, I left Memphis because I wanted to start a new decade in a new city. Within 3 months at Howard, I had interviewed James Baldwin on Valentine's Day. I had met Gordon Parks March 30th. He was on book tour. And I covered the anti-Klan demonstration march in Greensboro, North Carolina for Sheridan Broadcasting Network, because one of my classmates couldn't make it and said, "Could you fill in?" And so it was a tremendous time. And then later that year, I ended up photographing Robert Mugabe, who came to speak at Howard after the liberation of Zimbabwe.
Yeah, and you've also covered other major events like the Million Man March.
Yes, Million Man March, Million Woman March, and the Million Family March. And of course, during the Million Man March, that was the biggest event I ever covered in my life. And that was something that would stick with me for the rest of my life. And it yielded 2 images in the Million Man March book that came out literally 2 months later.
Okay, so we're taking a look at some of the images that you have photographed. We just saw Fidel Castro. We see President Barack Obama there, Bill Clinton, and also President Jimmy Carter with Michelle Obama.
Right, and this is Julian Bond, of course, from the leadership in the 60s and 70s. And this is Rosa Parks with Reverend Jessie Jackson.
And as soon as we get into them, then they stop. Oh, okay.
Now this is one of the historic photos.
Yes.
On the left is Betty Shabazz, in the middle is Coretta Scott King, and then on the right is Maya Angelou. And this is one of my all-time favorite photos, one of the greatest entertainers ever, Sammy Davis Jr. He got an honorary degree at Howard University, graduation, and I love the shot of him. And this was a special ceremony for Nelson Mandela at Howard University that I was covering for the university. It was a great time. And of course, I like to say the king of rock and roll,
Yeah.
Chuck Berry. Just a tremendous photo that was taken of him at the Howard Theater. This is a legendary photo. On the left is David Dinkins, former mayor of New York. In the middle is Barry Gordy, founder of Motown. And on the right is Charlie Rangel. And this, of course, woo, shut up. Little Richard, I mean, just outstanding. That was in Washington, D.C. And I had a chance to talk with him. And of course, photographing Fidel Castro in Havana, Cuba was a monumental occasion.
Okay, you have your book with you, Soul
Yes,
Sanctuary.
absolutely.
This is the 20th anniversary of this publication.
Yes, literally this week.
Yeah.
And I spent 10 years of my life traveling across literally 25 states to some 200 churches and photographing from early morning to late night, and from events in January all the way down to December 31st. Of course, we know it as Watch Night service. But in between are images that walk you through a day in the life of the Black church, and it follows the programmatic calendar for the year and much of the church bulletin flow, from early morning preparation, dedication, inspiration, the proclamation, and you end with the benediction.
Now, we have less than 30 seconds to go, but I do
Yes.
want to mention that a number of those images in that book are now permanently displayed
In the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture.
Wow.
50 photos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Living legend right here. And
Thank
now,
you.
from here, where are you going?
Well, I'm starting to work on my 50-year retrospective book and exhibition, which I hope to tour for the next 5 years. So I've got a gold mine of images, and now I'm trying to mine the gold.
All right.
Right.
Jason Johnson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Right now, you can find more information and see this interview again anytime on our website by visiting wsav.com/community corner.